Assassin's Creed Brotherhood has everything going against it. It was developed in 1 year instead of 2, continues a game that was conclusive enough to not require another sequel, and only takes place in the city of Rome as opposed to the multiple cities in its predecessors. Is it a rushed, soulless cash grab, or is it a genuinely compelling experience? The game starts with Ezio Auditore trying to uncover the secrets of the Apple of Eden and Vatican, but before being able to settle down to make his discoveries, his villa is attacked and conquered, and he is forced to leave it, swearing vengeance upon the attacking Borgia. The game's story is the easiest to follow in the entire series. Not only is Ezio still a charmer,
We upgraded the arsenal while you were away. And it is now customary for you to fire cannonballs at visitors.
but the events taking place are genuinely memorable. From finding out who is betraying the Brotherhood to participating in a decadent banquet, it's impossible to completely forget the story given all the cool stuff that happens in it. Unfortunately, the present timeline, which contextualizes why you're in Renaissance Italy being awesome, is somehow even more preposterous than in the last game. Frankly, it's devolved into utter nonsense, but with the exception of the game's beginning and ending, it's thankfully ignorable. As always, travel is exciting thanks to free-form movement, but Brotherhood also brings localized fast travel which allows you to instantly go from one corner of the map to the opposite side without having to walk all the way. Given that the action takes place in Rome only, you'll appreciate the system. Secondary missions are actually tied into the main story this time, and while they remain optional, this contextualization makes them feel like important tasks rather than filler. A standout among them is Da Vinci's machines. After all, what's more awesome than driving a medieval tank? All missions also have secondary objectives that add a bit of welcome challenge to the mix, even if these requirements can range from reasonable to outright insane. You are building a brotherhood, and as such, you must recruit certain citizens to join the fight. This is done in the same way as saving innocents in the first game of the series, i.e. by killing all the guards surrounding them and then talking to him or her. The recruits can complete contracts that earns them experience and upgrades, and some money for you, but you can also call them if you're in a tight spot or just can't be bothered to kill that one guard yourself. The contract system is a bit primitive, as all the assassins need is numbers and experience to complete an assignment, but the anticipation of finding out how the job went is truly nerve-wracking to the point where it feels like a game in itself. The series' weak point, combat, has finally been addressed. Instead of simply waiting for the right opportunity to counter each and every enemy, now delivering a proper counter means that you can start an execution streak, whereby enemies you target after a successful counter can be instantly killed, though you have to counter any enemy that tries to hit you, lest you want your spree to end. But there are also some new toys to play with. The pistol from the last game is back, but now you also have a crossbow for enemies that are simply too far away. Combine that with the ability to call in fellow assassins at any time, and the flexibility you are afforded means fights are always exciting. The city building has also been overhauled. Given that your villa is up in flames, you decide to buy properties in Rome itself. However, since the Borgia own it and don't feel too generous, you must kill a captain and destroy the Borgia tower he guarded in order to clear the area of any Borgia influence, in order to buy shops. Once bought, these offer rent, and to pick up the money you simply need to go to the nearest bank. Purchasing better armor and weapons is still an option, but given the efforts necessary to buy the best ones at shops, you're far better off simply doing the platforming focused side missions that offer the best armor and weapons. There is also a cat and mouse style multiplayer available, but unfortunately next to no one is playing it. Finding a server with enough players is truly a miracle, which is a shame, since it's a lot of fun. There is little as satisfying as taking out another assassin, then slipping in the crowd, or fooling another player into taking out a civilian that looks just like you. The perks you unlock, like disguising yourself, make things even better, but again, the lack of players means you might not even get to experience the pleasure. Visually, the game is a feast for the senses. It looks amazing and runs silky smooth, though poppin' is still somewhat present. Sound too is great, particularly the music. But most importantly, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's PC version finally features correct key prompts. It's a small detail, but it demonstrates that Ubisoft can listen and make good. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is a triumph unlike any other. Yes, the present timeline is still pure silliness, but everything else is simply awesome. Even with the multiplayer currently on life support, the single player will still provide dozens of hours of entertainment. Even if you're not that interested in the series, it wouldn't hurt to at least check Brotherhood out.